We'd like to call a meeting to order, Jackson County Commission, work session, February the 5th, 2018. Mr. Manning, would you call roll for us, please?
District 1, Mr. Guthrie. District 2, Mr. Venable.
Present.
District 3, Ms. Gilbert.
Present.
District 4, Mr. Sips.
Present.
Chairman also present.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Mr. Arnold, would you do the invocation for the pledge?
Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Once again, Lord, we thank you for all your blessings on us. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful county that we live in. Lord, we thank you for our leaders that are gathered here today. Lord, just pray that you give them wisdom and understanding in this meeting. Lord, watch over us, guide us. Lord, help us to remember those that are less fortunate than us. Lord, in these proceedings, Lord, we just pray that your will be done. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Gilbert, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing we have is the approval of the agenda for today's work session. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The next thing that we have is public comment from citizens. And the first name that we have on sign-in sheet is Mr. Harold Prince.
That's me. My name's Harold Prince, for the ones that don't know me. I live in Sarah Lane subdivision in Stevenson. Lived there for 40 years. And it's in the county. County road runs in front of our house and everything. But the mayor's brother lives over there. So he come over and put a speed hump in front of his house. Mr. Campbell did not give him permission. The county commissioner did not give him permission. And we'd like them to remove that speed hump. At their cost, they installed it. There's no other speed humps in Stevenson in any subdivision whatsoever. That's the only one. And it all comes because somebody run over one of our cats. Now y'all know an animal will dart out in front of an automobile, where it be a cat or a dog. And you can't help it sometimes. And that's what all of this is stemmed from. And we would like to get that speed hump removed.
At their
And that's-
expense.
Yeah, at cities, they're the ones that put it in, they ought to be the ones to remove it, not at the county's expense.
Some of that subdivision's in the city, right?
Well, the first two houses when we lived there was in the city. Rest of it was in the county. Now, some of these people, and I was told I couldn't speak on this, just address the speed hump. So I might need to stop right there. But now that's the way it was when we moved in there. First two houses in the city, rest is in the county.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Ms. Ann Prince, would you like to speak?
He pretty well covered it, except that this is the petition for the speed humps, and I would like for you to view it.
There's 44 houses over there.
Some of those names are illegal. They are in the county. Some of them have been removed when they found out what it was for. And it is causing war in our neighborhood, which we have had to only use our protective rights one time when someone tried to pull a trailer into our subdivision, and we had to stop. But we're ready to use them again. But we want it removed by the expense of the one who installed it. We have one car, a Lincoln, that will not go on, and our disabled daughter drives it. And it covered the rest.
Mr. Campbell, have you contacted the city of Stevenson concerning this?
No, sir.
That's what we probably need to do first.
Is this a dead end road or is it a main road?
What county number is it, Jonathan?
It's Sarah Lane.
Subdivision.
But it doesn't have another county number or anything?
It's not a county road number, it's identified by road names. There's several roads in that subdivision that are under county maintenance.
How long y'all say you live there?
About 40,
41 years. We bought it in, we moved in 78 with an option to buy,
Well,
and
40
we
years.
bought it in 79.
Yeah, about 40 years. We lived there 40 years.
Jonathan, what's the normal procedure for putting one in? What would they normally do?
We typically do not recommend installation of speed humps, and this conversation came up back a year or so ago, maybe?
Yeah.
It has been going on for a year or longer.
Our office was contacted by someone requesting speed bumps, if I'm not mistaken, in that area. And it was explained that we follow the MUTCD manual, which is the national standard that we follow for traffic control devices, in which that recommendation that we follow in that manual explains the implications of the speed hump on a residential place or a county road or any application that's typical of what we deal with. So if there is not mostly pedestrian traffic, such as a parking lot or something outside a road network type application, then speed humps are not typically recommended for several reasons, that they impede rescue vehicles or first response type vehicles. Unless they're full lane width, you encounter things such as motorists going around the speed humps, which can cause more harm. And then also, it's typically very noisy. So the vehicles encountering the speed hump, often there's a noise issue that's created from the hump. And so it's for those reasons that it's not consistent with the MUTCD manual for roadway applications.
Do you know when they installed it?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a date?
Do what?
When
day
they
it was
installed it?
installed.
When was it last year or the week before?
No, let's see. It has probably been there
2
about,
weeks. About 2 weeks?
no, it's been longer than that.
Okay.
Around, I'm saying roughly a month. This has been going on for a month. The situation did get worse on Saturday. On Saturday, they brought a crane into the subdivision and dropped a boulder beside of the speed hump as big as that table.
Yeah, just
Not a rock, a boulder.
Stop driving.
And it's on the side
keep people
of the
from going
road.
around it.
To keep people from avoiding going over the speed hump. The boulder is now,
Is the boulder on the county road?
No, it's
Well-
on the easement for the city.
it's on the easement for the city. They have an easement up
With
to the
water
water
meter.
meter, but it's directly in front of the brother's house beside of the speed hump. And this was dropped
People was going around the speed
Saturday.
hump,
Right, I understand.
and they
Well,
put
let us
that
do,
big boulder there.
Let us do a little bit of research. We want to
Okay.
make contact with the city of Stevenson concerning it, and we'll get back with you. Thank you.
All right.
Next
Will
person on
somebody
sign
let
up.
us know?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
You have a contact number?
Thank you
We
for
had that.
letting us present.
Thank you all for coming by. Next person we have signed up to speak today will be Mr. Bill Payne.
My name is Bill Payne. I was on this board long time ago, from 89 to 93. I think I know most everybody in here, and I probably know who I am. I'm the chairman of the Bridgeport Utility Board. I've been on the board going on 30 years. I brought with me Jim Hughes, who's our general manager. I brought Barry Hughes, which I don't know if they're related or not. He's the city council member in Bridgeport. We're in the process, of course, Google is coming in. Matter of fact, they moved in some office construction cutters today, and we let out a bid last week for the water and sewer bid for the development. We bought, on Highway 72, the utility company, we bought 3 acres of land, of course, bought and paid for. And we're gonna build us a new office building down there. It's got water, 12-inch water lines, it's got sewer lines, it's got natural gas lines, it's got three-phase power, right on Highway 72. It's almost approximately between halfway between Bridgeport and Stevenson, you know. What we propose to do is build an office there. Matter of fact, we met with the architect last Friday from Birmingham, and he's in the process of drawing up a building for us. You know, we all gave him our things that we might want, you know, and all. And I've talked to Mr. Arnold and Mike, and I guess everybody here except the attorney and the gentleman on the end there. What we propose to do is, of course, from Stevenson to Bridgeport and counting the coves and from Flat Rock to Bryant, approximately half the county population is there, you know. And so what we propose to do is offer the revenue commissioner and maybe someone else, provide them, when we build our building, they have their own private entrance, you know, they wouldn't have to go through the utility office. And we're not gonna build a lean-to, we're gonna build a nice building. What we propose to do, and I have authorization from the other board members that are not here, to offer you space in our building. You have your own private entrance, your own private meeting, whatever you need. That's what we're here for. See, first of all, I think you're interested in it, and see what Mr. Arnold and other people what they might need in there, you know. And like, you know, y'all have seen the movie The Godfather. We're gonna make you an offer that you can't refuse. So that's what I'm here for. And again, I have talked to everybody, all the commissioners. So I just want to get your idea of what, you had any questions, ask me. You know. I don't think I've had any negative comments about it so far. So that's what I'm here for, just try to get your, Jim, you want to say anything?
No, I think you do a good job.
Barry? Y'all have any questions for me?
I'd have questions for the revenue commissioner and the probate judge.
Well, that's-
You know, that's
That's the first item on their discussion for the commission. That's not office, for the revenue office of Bridgeport Utilities.
Bill approached me, actually, he asked me about this a year or so ago, maybe
Yeah.
a couple of years ago.
Mhm, we
We
did.
talked, you know,
We
he said
did.
maybe one day in the future. He told me just a week or two ago, he contacted me, said he's gonna build this building, and I don't think it's a bad idea. I think that's the reason I told them they ought to come and us talk about it, because I think we need to think about everything involved. And I was telling Mr. Payne a while ago that you have to think too, the majority of the people that come, or a lot of people that come to get their tags, if their driver's license has expired, then they gotta run across the hall and renew their driver's license and come back and get their tags. So that would involve Victor too, you know, that
That was
involve
my
privilege
first
too, so.
Make sure we-
You know, if it's just a place for people to renew, I mean, every year, you know, we're making advancements on our renewal process, and, you know, that's gonna be a thing of the past. People's not gonna come to an office to renew anymore. But if it was a place where we could actually do titles and things like that, you know, it might be a need. And I'm not saying there is or ain't, but I'll be for it if we look and there's a need, there's enough people that would use it.
Well, like I say, you know, you got Bridgeport with I think we're the second largest town in the county, Stevenson.
You got about a third of the population right there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Scottsboro and the rest of the county makes up a third, and then Bridgeport, Stevenson, that area. But I looked at it with numbers, it's about a third of the population right there.
Now, I did bring a little diagram about where it is, unless y'all know where it is. Okay, this is, here's Highway 72, going to Bridgeport, going to Stevenson, coming from Bridgeport. There's two turn-ins, one here and one here. Matter of fact, the gentleman that owns all this land right here, he's started 8,000 square foot on this end down here where our pumping station is. Our 8,000 square foot climate controlled storage. Matter of fact, they're going to pour the slab tomorrow. Now this is a
closer up view of where we own. This is the same as coming in right here. We own 3 acres right here. It borders 2 different roads. So if y'all wanna look at that, it'd be fine.
So that's between Bridgeport and Stevenson.
It is, it's approximately halfway, I guess. It's in Bridgeport city limits, but our city limits don't go too far down past where we are. I don't know if y'all are familiar. Like I say, we have all the infrastructure already there. We met with the architect last Friday after our bid opening. He's drawing us up some plans. It's not like we're gonna ask a fortune for the rent. Like I said, again, I have talked to all the members. Well, I don't think I've talked to Mr. Little.
No, but I'll talk to Mr. Guthrie, but that's something that I think would be a good thing, but like Mr.
Well,
Arnold
yeah.
said, that, you know, it warrants some more discussion, for sure, and,
The only problem I seen was they're fixing to put this building on the ground. So I don't know how we could commit to it now. The only thing I could think is if you guys would be willing to go ahead and set a place aside or put a room in it. But I just don't see how me or the commission could commit to it right now. For one thing, it's not budgeted right now. We have to budget it. Even though we're just talking about a couple of employees, we still have to budget a couple of
Well,
employees.
I don't know in your office work, but would you have to hire anybody else?
We're already, because Mr. Bill, we're already short.
Are
You
you?
know, we had, right before Ron retired and I ran for office, we had 30 employees, now we got 20. So we're already cut back everywhere we can possibly cut back, so I can't pull more employees out here to send up there, even though in the future it might offset, you know, it might, but I don't know that, so.
Well, if you got a third of the county where we're located, I'm not that smart, but wouldn't it be feasible to maybe move 1 or 2 up there, you know? From here, I'm not saying.
yeah, the problem is we don't have people to cover vacation days, and when
Yeah.
people are going to lunch and stuff, we're pretty much bare minimum at some of the desks and stuff now.
And some of the people in the courthouse are cross-trained, because some can go from
Yeah.
Happy over there if need be in an emergency situation.
And we done everything we could to
Well, there's
route
some-
our budget to cut.
There's some good things that we've done just this year, you know, we switched to a new software company.
Yeah.
And because of that, we'll start cross-training, so our tag office and our real estate office, they should be, so I could actually send a couple people up there maybe in the future, if it happened, that would do everything. They could do car tags, real estate, anything like that.
I think it'd be a good opportunity, for sound like this you're talking about, but you know, just like Jeff said, it's definitely gonna be pertaining to what him and probably judge have to say a whole lot up there, you know.
Let me just make one quick comment, Jeff. I didn't sign in, by the way, but I hadn't planned on saying that. But we are probably gonna build onto this building a space, maybe 2 spaces, just for the future.
Yeah.
We wanna have a space available if somebody wants to come in and put a business in or an office in. We've got something to offer the community without them having to, you know, go out and buy land and build it. We want something nice for them to be able to move into, just as a community benefit, so. That wouldn't be out of the question, what you said.
Yeah, I think that would be, in my mind, I would, if y'all, I don't know how we could commit to it now. I mean,
Well,
I couldn't commit
think the
to it unless
first
the
thing
county
we
commission
need to
committed
do
to
is
fund it.
Mr. Arnold and Mr. Manning get together and see what we would actually need up there and what kind of dollar amount that would, you know, obligation we'll have to take from the county, and then have this on a work session again in pretty near future. And, you know,
Well, that's the reason I asked him. He was calling me, we're back and forth on the phone, and I asked him to maybe just come to a work session. You gotta start somewhere, you know.
I did not mean to leave out Mr. Manning. I did not realize the connection, well, I probably should have, that license and the, but like Jim said, you know, whether y'all commit to it or not, we're probably gonna go ahead and build, and they will have, like I said, their own private entrance, you know, they wouldn't have to come through the utility office and, you know, have their own private entrance, their own bathroom, meeting room, kitchen, you know, facilities, you know.
It's separate storefront.
Yeah, it'd be a separate front.
The main thing the tax collector needs is a back door.
Well, we gotta have a back
Like a
door.
big.
Now, you and I discussed this, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And you were saying there was another office that something, if something were to come up while they were in the process of it, is it like when they purchase property or something like that, that they have to
Yeah.
go
well,
to another
that's-
office, then come
Yeah,
back?
that's right. We're talking about the car tax, but like on the real estate office, if somebody came there to, they just bought property and they's gonna assess it. Well, then or they recorded the deed. All right, so if they're gonna record the deed, then Mr. Manning's gonna send them over to my office to get a value. We're gonna give them a value, send them back over there to record the deed, and then they're gonna come back to my office and assess it. So really,
Y'all are joining.
I'm not
the
trying
tip.
to, I'm not trying to join myself to him by no means.
Well, I mean,
We probably
anybody
need
else is
both up there.
well, that would be fine. I hadn't, I guess my ignorance, I didn't even think about it, you know, the connection. That tickled me to death, you know, if it,
What do you think about it? Joey?
Hey, listen, I'm for whatever we can do to help our citizens. And I think it's a wonderful idea. Like Jeff said, we would need to catch my employees up here, and then, like you said, we would need probably two. I mean, you couldn't have just one.
I talked to several other counties, and that's what they told me. Any satellite office, you need at least two.
Yeah, that's just like today, I had one that was scheduled to be off on vacation this week, which is fine, and then one of them ended up with a sick child, so we've been short today, which is fine, it's no problem, we made it happen, but if I had one of them gone, we're gonna have problems when we go to lunch, you know. It's you know, it's one of those things you gotta work at, but it's one of those things that's certainly just workable. Just like Jeff said, I think, you know, if we did it, I think we'd need to do pretty much everything outside of the probate court part. I don't think we could split that up. I don't see how we could. I guess it's possible. But we would need to renew driver's license and I believe be able to at least search and give deeds and record deeds and I mean, if you're doing it for a true convenience, you certainly want to do that.
that would tickle me to
Absolutely.
death, you know.
So if this thing happened, you're talking about 4 additional employees, if both offices want it.
I think
I would
that's
probably need to, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say. Now,
because you get into
keep
the
in mind,
same.
mine's a prorated budget, so you're not talking about a big cost for my 2 employees, not that much, but, of course, big thing, but.
Mine or not, but it's the same thing. I mean, I can't use his and he can't use mine because mine are accountable to me and my bond, and his are accountable to him and his bond.
It's 2 different
So you couldn't just get one from each because my money's mine and my money has to be accounted for. Let me take that back, please. My money has to be accounted for and dispersed to everybody, just like Jeff's is accounted for and dispersed to everybody. So they work under my bond.
Would you have to have separate office probably, petition or
I don't think that would be necessary. Yeah, I think one space would be fine. We would just need our part of that space so that we can't use a common cash register, you know what I'm saying?
Right, I
So-
understand, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think.
I don't see
petition-
that as a problem.
No, I don't think that'd be.
And again, you know, we're not gonna build a lean-to,
Mhm.
you know.
Sure.
We're gonna build a nice
Yeah.
building.
If I mean, I can tell you, it sounds like I'm just passing the buck. I'm all for it. You just got to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and to make it happen worthwhile, make it stay there.
Okay, I'm not an architect by no means, but what kind of square footage are we talking about?
I mean, I don't know, Jeff.
We don't need much, 2 desks.
It's going to be.
2 desks is like, or a counter with 2 people.
Do you think,
sit at.
I don't even know how much, but the first house I ever lived in was 960 square feet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just roughly thinking, would 1,000 square feet be enough for both in a bathroom, maybe
They're more than enough.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think that'd be
We
close.
would need a place to probably lock money up.
I would,
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to mention that. I think as you're thinking, I like the idea of the counter and maybe some kind of
Partition
barrier
between the
to
two.
keep, you know, like you have at service stations. Because I mean, some days if we take in a lot of money on boat stickers and stuff, I mean, we could end up with a lot of cash.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Jeff does too. And there's certainly, I know it's right beside you guys, but you certainly got a safety aspect there.
Well, with y'all going ahead and putting 2 additional offices in there, it kind of gives us some time to talk about this more
it
and
does.
see if this is a doable thing.
It does, except well, we're not trying to put you on a time frame,
Right.
but, our architect, we met him last Friday, and he sat down there, the pad, drawing and all of that, and I said, well, how long is it gonna take you? About a month? He said, I had something by next week, just to look at,
Maybe he could just include some, some vacant space in there.
That's what, well, like Jim said, that's what we propose to do, that's, to me, our downtown, because I've been there all my life, but like most small towns, our downtown, the 4-lane bypasses and everything's moving to the 4-lane, I remember back when I was growing up, our downtown was so busy on Saturday, you couldn't get a parking spot. Now, there's no traffic, and then finally moved out to 72 where my dad had a store, and now it's moving on out,
Mr. Bill, if I was coming down Flat Rock, coming down 17, how far from, if I took a right and went to where y'all are building it, took a left and went to Scottsboro, is that not close to the same?
4 miles from.
4 miles to
4 miles
where y'all
from
thinking about building it? So how far is it to come down here?
It's,
Stevenson is 22 miles.
22?
it's 26 from the hospital to hospital. That's what we used to build when I worked for Ambulance Service, 26 from North Jackson to Scottsboro.
but if you're at Bryant, on up,
Yeah.
Drop off the upper end and come back on.
you could drop off at South Pittsburgh and come through that way, and it's a lot quicker,
Yeah.
Let me say one other thing, I'll shut up. It's, we've got to design it, approve it, fund it, and then we have to publicly bid it and then construct it. So, it's not going to happen overnight.
Y'all got some time there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that gives us some time to see if this thing can get done. And like you said, we're in the middle of a budget year. This wasn't budgeted, so you're probably talking 6 months construction from now till it's finished.
I would think probably that.
Longer than that to
But again,
finish.
it's not like we have to put the utilities in, they're already there. In other words, we've got 12-inch water line right down 72, what is it, 6-inch gas line?
Yeah.
Natural gas, and of course the sewer. And like I say, Google's coming in,
Right.
and I don't know what's gonna follow them, usually a lot of stuff does,
We appreciate y'all coming down and sharing this information with us, and we will do some more research on it, and Jeff and Judge Manning can sort of toy with the numbers of possible customers and things like that, but it would probably have to be done in the next budget year if we did anything. We don't have, we're just not budgeted for that right now.
I understand.
But 7 months, you'll be into a new year.
Yeah.
I mean, we will, budget-wise.
Thank y'all for
Yes.
this.
We appreciate
Do you
it.
need to look at this or anything?
Look forward to it.
Appreciate y'all.
I don't know what to do right now.
Okay. If there's any questions, before we leave, go ahead and ask them.
And I have your phone number, and they may be calling you.
That'd be fine, that'd be fine. If you can't get me, get Jim, he's at the office there at the Bridgeport Utility Company.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thanks a lot, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank all of you. Appreciate it very much.
Good opportunity for us.
Bill, you're back.
Oh, yeah. And, thank you,
Feel
Bill.
better.
Yeah, I'm going to Washington.
You too.
You-
Thanks, Doug.
Okay, the next item what we have is a Sheriff's Office fingerprint scanner system. And we've got, Mr. Gomez is going to explain this to us.
Members of the commission, my name's Ernie Gomez, I'm the captain of Jackson County Jail. And we participate in the integrated automated fingerprint ID system. Each arrest comes in as fingerprinted. Now they're fingerprinted electronically. Now this is the standard now throughout the country. And very briefly, each arrest is fingerprinted electronically and submitted electronically to the FBI database. Since the end of 2016, we have not had a contract with the people who have the state contract, their DataWorks Plus. They are responsible for maintaining and supporting, providing equipment at a cost to the sheriff's office to scan the fingerprints and submit them. The hardware, the software, everything that goes into fingerprinting is included in that. As I say, at the end of 2016 is the last time we had true support. DataWorks Plus, as a courtesy to the county, has been helping us limp along, keeping things going. It's usable now. We've been using it and submitting it right along. The problem is, the equipment that we have at the jail has reached the end of its serviceable life. The camera, the printer, the uninterruptible power supply, the certified palm and pen printer scanner, which is a glass plate with a camera underneath that actually scans the prints and enters them into the software. So, what we're needing at the jail is this new, more updated equipment so that the DataWorks Plus will maintain it and service it. And right now, they will service it at a tremendous cost. It's $180 per hour. It's a 2-hour minimum if they had to come and check on it, plus the drive time of the DataWorks Plus technician that could actually work with it. So what we're needing is a new contract and get the contract current. The contract's $2,500 per year. It runs from January 1st to December 31st yearly. The contract has been expired since the end of 2016. So in order to get the contract back reinstated, this $2,500 contract, DataWorks Plus is asking for a $500 reinstatement fee. So to get the contract and the reinstatement fee and the new camera that we need, the printer that will print the cards that is required, the uninterruptible power supply, and the palm printer. And if we turn in our old palm printer that's still working now, we'll get a $500 credit on that. And all this comes to $17,930. But that would get us back current, and that would get us back under a contract with a service agreement and be able to get some support we need. Now, they can do a lot of things remotely. But right now, because we're out of contract, we can't get that either, really. They've been at us courtesy now, doing that 3 or 4 times maybe during this past time of being out from under a contract. But, yeah, that's what we need. Not only are we fingerprinting criminals and arrestees, we're fingerprinting, I was sitting over here just jotting down the ones that I can just think of. We fingerprint for teachers, postal workers, security guards that are armed, foster parents, Medicaid workers who are sitting with the elderly and may be vulnerable. We fingerprint pharmacists, people who want firearms endorsements and are granted those. We fingerprint those people as well. So it's not just a jailhouse type thing. This serves the community as well. So,
Could you go through that list again, please?
teachers, postal workers, security guards, foster parents, Medicaid workers, pharmacists, and people who want firearms endorsements. They will have their federal firearms license, or they want to be able to modify a gun. They come to us for that fingerprint.
So without a contract, we go under this $180 an hour, whatever you said it is.
Yes, sir.
But if we go under a contract, they'll take care of it
That is
without paying an hourly fee.
That is correct. And it's a 2-hour minimum plus the drive time for the technician to get there. So that's, you run into
See,
tremendous.
the contract ran out in 2016. When was the
It did.
contract?
December.
When did it start? What was it, a 3-year, 4-year, 2-year
Oh, it's
contract?
only yearly, runs from January 1st to December 31st each year.
Why was it allowed to run out?
Well, it was already expired when I came to you back in July of last year to appeal to you for this equipment. So we're still in the same stagnant situation that we were in back in July. Or really, January 1st of last year.
Who else, has this same kind of stuff that,
Well, as I say, DataWorks Plus for years has had the Alabama state contract. And there's the only thing that we can discover. Back in July, I called many jails, and it's all, and within Alabama, and it's all DataWorks Plus. And you can look on the website, and at that time that I looked at it, the contract was for Alabama for DataWorks Plus. You can research
That's the reason I was
that.
asking, because I just never liked to have one bid, you know, that's what I was
I understand.
going on.
So if we got a new contract with the equipment that we have work,
The PC is still, would still be under a service contract. Now, that's still in its usable life at this point. The software and the hardware, I think, is still serviceable. It's not yet obsolete. But the camera, the printer, and the tin printer are now obsolete.
Bob, can you recall, in 2016, where exactly those funds were coming from and who?
The $2,500 would have been under contract services in the jail. And that would, as he had mentioned, I think that was an annual contract.
It is.
It's been rolling each year, and it would have been $2,500 in the contract services portion.
And Mr. Chairman, I apologize, I don't remember us discussing this
In July.
in July.
Yeah, July 17th, I believe, is that right?
But, do you have any total from what you spent on maintenance and,
As I said, as a courtesy, they've been helping us.
They were the ones that presented this right here, saying that the life it was over with, basically what it said, that'll work to know that your system has reached its end of life.
That is correct.
And my understanding is they won't even allow us to update the contract unless we get new equipment.
Well, you could update the contract, I imagine, but there would be a tremendous expense involved if you were to try to get it supported if something were to break and go wrong with it. I don't even know if they would service it, to be honest. You're right. I don't even know if they would come down and fix it. Well, I know they will for a fee, but
if this is something that we didn't know about in July, I don't know why we didn't include it in the jail budget for
I look back
for
and we
this.
just discussed it, but there was nothing,
It never got moved forward or anything.
no, it was just a discussion.
I certainly cannot remember.
I remember you being here, but I can't remember what we discussed. You know, I'm sure you got paper we discussed this.
I'm sure we
That-
did.
yeah,
And that would have been right when the
I've never
budget
approached
was
you anything else.
Yeah.
full block, I mean,
Right,
that's
when
when
we
we
just
put
tried to
the
get everything
put the
together.
budget together.
That was,
I
the
don't know why we
17th was a
wouldn't.
Monday, so it wouldn't have been the regular budget meeting.
Or whatever time it was in July.
Yeah, seems like I remember something about brought up about a printer, but you know, but I don't know.
I think at that time, it was just, the contract was discussed, you know, about $2,500, and then that you guys needed some new equipment. But I think it was just kind of left there, that they needed some new equipment. I don't think anybody knew that it was to the point that, maybe it wouldn't be serviced or anything.
And it was already outdated at that time anyway. So it hadn't been budgeted for the previous.
So you saying $17,930 in
That'll
total?
give us all what we need to be conventional and running,
and plus the 3,000.
plus the contract.
Plus three.
So they
Well,
include
no,
the contract.
$17,930 is all inclusive. That'd be the whole,
Oh, it
And
includes
that's
the
the
whole.
whole total. Already said it includes the contract.
that's the whole total, yes, sir.
Any more discussion concerning this item?
No, just,
you want this placed on the agenda? If there's no objection, we'll place this on the agenda for the next meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next item we have is a request for vacation for a portion of County Road 471.
Jonathan had
And basically, Mr. Campbell is taking care of this matter. We have, you'll notice in your packet from Eustace Law Firm, where all the legwork has been done. And you'll see on the last page of it where the property owner has acquired this property, and he's wanting to take over this section of the road. And the reason being, this is a dead-end road, and has a lot of people that go down this road and turn around in his yard at night, and he just decides he wants to own the road.
Where's this road located at?
Okay.
I got that.
And,
And he's the only property owner accessing it there.
yes, Mr. Campbell could probably explain this 471 road project.
Yes, sir. From the best I can discern from this petition, everything seems to be in order. Mr. Porter likely want to weigh in on that. I had a conversation with the attorney representing the petitioner, and it's not evident by the map that's attached, but he is the sole property owner on past the residence there, the other two blocks that are not labeled, and the tract, 37-acre tract north of the residence, that transaction has just recently been done, Mr. Porter, so the revenue site doesn't reflect that change, but that deed information is attached.
Track 14, that bottom right-hand corner of the page, that's one you're talking about?
14 and 6, both of those are owned by the petitioner. And
Six
the,
and 14 as well?
yes, sir.
So he owns the whole block up there.
Yes, sir. And the 37-acre tract that's north of the residence,
Okay.
north of 9, I'm not sure what that tract number is.
He didn't have his name wrote on the parcel 6 and 14.
Right, yeah, verified by the attorney, that is, and it's consistent with the revenue side, he is the owner of that. I had questioned about if there were any roads continuing on from 471 to the tracts beyond that, and he confirmed that it's not being utilized by any other landowner other than the petitioner.
If they say there's this road that looks like it's cut down through 8.
Yeah,
Wise off there.
the property, that's more of his farmland, and there's a lake just south of there that don't show on this map, but he's the sole property owner of all that surrounds it.
Okay, so that road dead ends also.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The only thing I think that's not, the allowance has not been made as, if it is the intent, which it doesn't state that I read, to gate this vacated roadway, I think we need to come to terms on how to terminate the county road. So I would propose onto the petitioner's land, just enough so we can either cul-de-sac or turn around. And if we could be allowed to work with the landowner, to talk with him on how he would like to see that shake out, and then we can stake something out, Mr. Porter, and measure, and just do this in words, I think, versus a survey, if you're agreeable to that, if you think it'll work.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I do think it ought to be part of the documentation that he will allow a turnaround there. If it's on his property or prior to, looks like the Jacobs owned the property prior to that. So we need some agreement with him that we could use that as a turnaround to make it. And do you know whether or not there are any cemeteries? Can you indicate any cemeteries? I know that issue came up recently on another one. Access by cemeteries. I don't see any on here, and he doesn't say anything about that.
No cemeteries to my knowledge, but I can check on them.
We would have to hold a public hearing on this.
Yes, sir. And one thing, we're getting a number of these requests to vacate public roads. My recommendation to the commission would be that if we do this for these landowners, that we do it and that they reimburse the county for the publication cost, because we do have to publish it. And so they should have to reimburse the county for that.
I agree with that, that's a benefit to them.
Yeah.
So it's not our place to pay for it.
Yeah.
Also, maybe the cost of creating a turnaround.
Oh, yeah, yeah, something, whatever that might be.
Yeah, I didn't know how we wanted to go with that. Obviously, I figured the land would come at no cost, but, you know, they're gonna be,
Expense and
they're gonna be cost incurred for constructing a pavement structure for,
Yeah, they're gaining well, not necessarily acreage, but a percentage of acreage.
to withstand.
I would assume they would bear all costs.
yeah, I would go along with that too.
The property owner plans to put a gate there.
Yeah.
So we could loop though right there prior to the gate and.
What about up here where it's coming in?
Property a little bit right there and still be on the side of the road.
Yeah, that's somebody else.
Instead of going on up the
Proposed
driveway,
vacating
that's what he's wanting to keep
spot.
them off the
Right, I mean,
road.
what check is, I guess.
Loop to the left.
Yeah, this is
Right.
So he owns all the way under this.
Yeah, he owns all this.
The road stops right in here.
Yeah, they just had us the road into here, so they would stop the county over there and gate that coming to this property.
Well, if there's no objection, let Mr. Campbell go forward with this. We'll table doing any action on it until we hear from about the property owner and the said property. The next item we have is discuss contract with Jim Helms at County Park. I talked to Mr. Helms today, and he asked that we table this conversation at this time.
Well, I'd really like to move forward with it as soon as possible. I don't wanna get into a situation where we're springtime and trying to figure things out like we did last year.
And that was a vacant building,
Right, so,
I think the contract expires in March.
yeah, and we're talking a month.
March.
yeah, but I'd like to get something, and then we can put it on the next work session, but,
Drug out last year.
yeah, and drug out last year like this.
There's some legalities I need to talk to Mr. Ford about concerning this too, so I'd like to table it till the next work session. If there's no objection, we'll table it to the next work session.
The 19th.
Don't have a calendar.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Just to back up one item there, I was just needing a little clarification. Do we need, before the next meeting, do we need the things we just discussed in the language of the petition?
I would think so, yes, sir. Yeah.
Willingness to allow those things, if not the details, is that
Yes,
is
sir.
that accurate?
We'll have to have enough time to advertise it.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
many times do you have to advertise?
4 weeks, once a week for 4 weeks, and then commission considers it, and then, once that's done, we have to publish it again. It'll take a while. to
Like
get
you
it
said,
done.
a turnaround for Jacobs. Jason said, well, we wouldn't be out any money at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So if he's willing to agree to all that before Monday, we can vote to advertise
Sure.
and move forward Monday.
Yeah.
And then advertise for
The-
4 weeks for
yeah.
another public hearing.
We have to have the petition in hand before the commission can vote to do the advertisement. So once we get the petition in hand like we want it, then the commission can vote to proceed to schedule the public hearing.
Who sets up the advertisement process?
I do that.
You do?
Yes.
Can you give him a cost so you can kind of pass it on to the landowner? If we're gonna require that cost and then.
I think Jonathan's gonna talk to them about the cost of the turnaround and that kind of thing.
have been getting quite a few of those.
On the next work session, are we, President's Day?
There will be a holiday.
So it'll be the 20th.
Next item we have is KC's barbecue contract at County Park. Mr. Barnes, I think you talked to me about that. You have any input there?
I just talked with Casey, and he says that he's willing to go a long-term contract if the county's willing to pay so much on the deck that he's putting in. He said he's willing to go a 5-year contract. And I think y'all wanted to, if he leaves in 3, then he'd still have to pay the other 2 years. So he's willing to do all that in order to get some money to build that.
I've spoken to Mr. Sanders too, and, you know, he has got pretty cheap rent the first couple of years, like the current year and the coming year.
Next
But
year.
he spent several $1,000s
They
down.
tell me he's spent about $4,000.